Sometimes it's good to just dance.
Welcome to the Good Stuff Family Podcast. I'm Dawn Kendrick, and I am so glad you're here. These are stories from the perspective of a news reporter on a next-level assignment. Everyone has a story. Stories of hope, resilience, and how we believe God weaves people, relationships, opportunities, all of it for good. For many of us, faith leads our steps, others not so much. But that is what makes this growing Good Stuff family great. We know the journey is better together. Welcome to the family.
Got a suggestion. Sometimes it's good to just dance. Come along.
Saanvi Mylavarapu is an 18-year-old dynamo. She is a youth advocate, especially in the realm of mental health. She's an environmental change maker and an incoming neuroscience freshman at Emory University. Her journey, though rooted in science, is deeply spiritual, led by faith, a connection to nature, and a calling to make this world better for the next generation. She believes dirt under your nails is a badge of healing, and faith in action means fighting for the planet and its people. What began as a childhood love for trees and trails turned into Project Nature Worthy, a national youth-led movement focused on how time and nature heals our brains, especially those struggling with mental health challenges, grief, or trauma. Saanvi has hiked more than 1,000 miles across national parks, Everest Base Camp, and the Alps, often with her mom by her side, collecting not just memories, but mission. From backpacking across national parks to pushing for policy change on Capitol Hill, Saanvi says it's never been about media. It's always been about meaning, and that the youngest voices can carry God's light. I love her. And sometimes you know a person's heart and soul before you've even seen or met them in person. And that is the case with my new friend, Saanvi. I have a feeling she's going to be your new friend soon once you get to know her. Hi, friend.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, thank you so much. I see all the good that you're doing, but even most importantly, I see this genuine heart of yours at 18 years old. I can't even begin to imagine all the places you're going to go. So thank you. Thank you for joining us. And for the people who maybe they have a good idea for that intro, but will you kind of help our viewers warm up to that heart of yours that's so passionate about making sure we preserve nature and the very real effect it can have on healing, especially mental health wise?
Yeah, so I would say it starts off with my mom's journey and how she inspired me. So she had a lot of chronic back issues and lots of pain, especially with her pregnancies with my older brother and I. And she was in a wheelchair for a while as well. And her passion for nature and her wanting to get outdoors really drove her to get past those barriers. And I saw how spending time outdoors healed her as well. And not only her body and her health, but it also gave her time to focus on herself, to focus on her family, to focus on her spirituality. And so she made it a really big point to make sure that my brother and I also got to experience the outdoors. And that's how it started at my very first national park, Mammoth Caves National Park. And I remember when I first went to the national park, I was kind of skeptical. Oh my God. I was kind of a little puzzled about how spending time outdoors would be helpful. I just wanted to sit at home on my iPad, but I think really spending time outdoors from there on, being with my family and getting that time to bond with my older brother really showed me the benefits of the outdoors. And as I started spending more and more time outdoors, I realized how it was helping me with my mental health, my physical health, as I was pushing past boundaries and my physical and mental limits. If I thought I couldn't hike that far, but I was able to hike even further, and I was able to summit another mountain, just pushing past those barriers. I saw the growth in myself, especially when I would come home and I would face other barriers. I would remember, you know what, you got past this barrier, you can easily get past this barrier as well. And so when I would get home, I would also realize that there were so many children around me who weren't as privileged as I was, who didn't have parents who could fly them out to different places and to experience all these national parks. And I truly believe that nature is a gift from God, and everyone should be able to experience it around them. And so I made it my mission from there on to get as many children as I can outdoors around me, especially from environmentally disadvantaged areas. And from then on, I started Project Natureworthy. And with Project Natureworthy, we've been working on getting children outdoors and getting them to local state parks and forest preserves and hikes around us. And yeah, we've just been working on getting children outdoors and taking them on hikes. And that's a little bit about how Project Natureworthy started and how I also gained my passion for the outdoors.
Yes, and this project, Nature Worthy, is big. People are taking notice. You have done so much more in 18 years than most of us could ever hope to accomplish. And I look at this picture. I want to make sure we say right out of the gate in this interview that we serve a big God. And I look at this, there's a little bit of you, but you're like many but mighty powerful. What does this picture say to you? And what are you hoping that you can kind of impart to these kids as well, like you described, that may not have an opportunity to get out into nature, that you are pulling along through your programs? What do you hope being this up close with God's landscape does for these kids? And what does it do for you personally?
Well, for me personally, I think the first thing that I think of is that anything is possible if you work hard and you push past your mental and physical barriers. And looking at that photo, I remember it was really, really tough for me to get to that position because you were hiking for days and days and days and your body was wearing down. You were so high up in the altitude that you weren't even getting as much oxygen as you normally would. So every step you took, you were putting more and more effort. And when your body reaches that type of deterioration, then it gets all on your mind. All the pressure goes on your mind, and it's really up to you to force your mind and to tell your mind to keep going and to find a purpose in what you're doing. I think that's the most important part, is to really understand why you're doing what you're doing and why you want to do what you do. And I think this picture should also show that if you really put your heart and mind to it, and if you really think to yourself that you can do something, you can truly do something. And I think that's me after hiking for probably 5 or 6 days in Everest Base Camp with not a shower, not getting, the proper nutrition that I normally eat, and just hiking and putting my mind towards it. And if you truly believe that you can do it, then you can get past your mental barriers and you can experience all the beautiful wonders of the world.
And who does that not, I want to say preach, who does that not speak to? I gotta imagine anyone listening to this can relate to that, to be able to experience that kind of uplifting and encouraging and mind body experience in nature. So we could talk forever about why I love you, but what we need to get to is all of these examples of things that you have tangibly done. Can you tell me more about your work with the former National Park Trust Youth Ambassador? Tell me some of these things that I know you don't want to toot your own horn, but list off the resume, the tangible ways you're seeing the good for other kids and being the good for them.
Yeah, so with the National Park Trust, I worked on mainly getting children outdoors as well, just like I do with Project Natureworthy. But with their support, I was able to kind of spread the message on a wider scale and also get a little bit of funding for some of the activities that we would do with them. The biggest activity I hosted was a Kids to Parks Day at Ray Roberts State Park, which is about an hour away from my home. And during that day, I was able to kind of curate a day full of fun-filled activities that were outdoors at the state park that kids could get involved in and could spark an interest in nature and spark an interest in the outdoors and just really make the outdoors inviting and just a fun place overall for kids to have as an oasis. And that's what I really wanted to do. I just wanted to introduce kids to an oasis. And that was one of the biggest projects I worked on, is getting that Kids to Parks Day all set up. In order to get that set up with the National Park Trust, I helped create my own junior ranger programs with Ray Roberts State Park. I went to many junior ranger programs and I talked with the other park rangers and I formed relationships with them. And I was even able to, in the end, create my own junior ranger programs and help them with that. But a lot of the time I would also take a step back, listen and assist with their junior ranger programs, and really just get to interact with kids and learn how to grow that passion and grow that spark within kids that a lot of these park rangers do, to get them to want to explore nature themselves and want to come back to state parks and want to keep exploring the wonderful earth around them.
And we need to talk about, as a former National Park Trust Youth Ambassador, I mean, there's so many articles that have been written about you, and current advisor to the Outdoor Alliance for Kids, OAK. You have made multiple visits to Capitol Hill as well. Let's talk about this Explore Act. Again, let me just remind everyone, 18 years old. But like, wasn't it like when you were 14 is when you really, you were like a freshman in high school, where you really started making all of these very important inroads. So tell me about the Explore Act, that you saw both houses of Congress through that.
Yeah, so the Explore Act was a bipartisan bill that I started working on with. First, I was introduced to it with the National Park Trust, and then as I started working with the Sierra Club in Oak, I was able to work on it with them as well. So what the Explore Act aims to do is to encourage more children to spend time outdoors and encourage more people in general to spend time outdoors. And the way that the bill aims to do that is by breaking a lot of the barriers that are there for many people across the United States when it comes to spending time outdoors. So making trail access easier, helping with permitting for different outdoor activities or outdoor businesses, and just overall breaking a lot of the barriers when it comes to actually getting to these outdoor spaces and maintaining these outdoor spaces. And although this bill took a couple years to pass and finally get through, it was a bipartisan bill, and its main focus was really just breaking some of the barriers that are there to just get people outdoors.
Yeah, and that's it. It's the power of one, isn't it? Really, here's you, and your mama planted that go-getter spirit, that dynamo spirit, and the power of one, and how you have exponentially already made so much of an impact. That is the good stuff. Can I show this video really quick of you guys hiking, and tell me, let's see if we can have you. What is this we're looking at? Oh. Hang on. I lost your mic. Hang on. What are we looking at here, Saanvi?
So this is me when I was hiking in Everest Base Camp. I think that's Lhotse or Nuptse. They're one of the tallest mountains in the world. I think they're like top 5, Lhotse or Nuptse, in top 5 tallest mountains in the world. But that was literally as we were going to Everest Base Camp. I'm pretty sure that was like the direct day we were actually visiting like the base camp sign. And we were all very, very tired. And that's why you see us hiking so slow, because every step you take when you're that high up in altitude feels like 20 steps.
Is it spiritual?
It is a lot. It is very spiritual, because when you are there in a mountain, there's...
You froze. We'll get you back. One moment, please. Sorry about that. Okay. I think we have you back. I said, is it spiritual? It really is for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very spiritual, because when you're that high up in a mountain and you are by yourself or you're with your family, in those moments, you're really just focusing on your own steps and your own breathing. And you do a lot of thinking and you do a lot of introspection. And that's what I love about hiking. It gives me a lot of time to think about my life, think about myself, think about my effect on others, and also think about God and my spirituality, and think about my place on the earth and how small I am compared to everything that's around me, and to appreciate it a lot more, and to think about everything I could do better in my life, and to think about other ways that I can connect with my spirituality more, and think about the different stuff that my parents have taught me and the different stuff I've learned over the years about religion, about life lessons, about just being a better human. And that's the time where I really get to just focus on me and becoming a better human overall, because there's no phone, there's no iPad, there's no TV, there's no homework, there's no school, there's no jobs, there's no work. So it's just time for you to focus on becoming a better human being, and that's what I try to use it for.
And you inspire me so much. I can't even imagine how many people who have met you or learned of what you're doing who say, I can do this then. It really just starts with the passion in your heart, and you take the first step. That's what you've done. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that for me, the biggest driving factor for me wanting to get outdoors is, first of all, to experience everything that God has created on the planet. And the only way that you can truly experience everything is not by car, not by plane, but by foot, and just going there and experiencing it yourself and working hard to get to those places by yourself, which is what I believe. And by doing that, it not only opens me up to all the knowledge that comes with the outdoors, but it's just a way for me to keep learning about myself and the world.
And you won't say it, but I will. You're so incredibly smart too. Neuroscience major. Look, I love at Emory University. You had several offers, but let me just show this video I love so much.
Hello everyone. Over the past 8 days, I have ascended over 2,500 meters to get to Everest Base Camp, which is at 5,364 meters. And I hope I can inspire many other people to come out here and visit the Khumbu region here in Nepal.
Breathtaking, and I'm sure it doesn't even do it justice.
Yeah, I mean, you can probably see how out of breath I was just saying that one sentence. But it's those moments when you reach the point where you want to go, or even the obstacles that you face along the way, that makes a hike worth it. I always tell myself, if I'm ever facing a really hard circumstance, for example, the day right after we got to that point that you just saw in the video, we decided to climb a mountain in the morning. We started around 4:30 a.m. called Kalapatar. And from Kalapatar, you get a full view of all the Nepal mountains and also the Tibet/China side of the mountains as well. So you get a 360-degree view from the top of that mountain. And that morning it was so cold, and I didn't have insulated boots, and I don't know if my gloves were not working, but my hands and my feet just felt so cold. It felt like needles were actually like being pricked into my hands and feet. And in that moment, yeah, it was so painful. And yes, I had to, think about myself and why I wanted to do this, to keep going. And it was definitely a huge growth moment for me and pushing past my mental barriers. But one thing I like to remind myself in the hard moments is that in the future, like right now, you'll never remember those extremely hard moments. You'll never really remember how it felt, but you'll always, for the rest of your life, remember the amazing views and what you accomplished and just the views around you and what you saw. Like, I don't really remember the pain I was in right now. I probably think I was probably being really dramatic. At that time, I was probably in a lot of pain, but now I don't really remember it. But what I'll always remember for the rest of my life is seeing the sun rise and hit the tip of Mount Everest, and just seeing Mount Everest and the sun just hitting the tip of it. And that's something I'll remember for the rest of my life. So those are the little things that I say to myself to keep going, especially when I face those barriers.
Gratitude. And what a great analogy it is for life, for no matter what any of us are up to, what we're facing, what we're up against. I love it. Wise beyond your years is what I feel as I listen to you speak. I'm sure you've heard that before. And I know, oh shoot, we keep losing you, but there you are. I know when we say you're wise beyond your years, I know someone else who agrees with that is my also new friend just recently, National Park Service Program Director. Hello, Christine. How are you?
Hi, how are you? This has been great. I've loved hearing Saanvi's stories, and the photos have been fabulous. Yes, I am a fan of Saanvi. I met Saanvi about a year and a half ago. She wanted to get involved with a conservation organization, and I work for the National Park Service as a program director out of St. Paul, Minnesota. And Saanvi has these skills, not only her vast knowledge about the environment and her passion for protecting planet Earth, which matched with mine, but she also has film editing skills. And I was wanting to do a video, and Saanvi was my inspiration to write that video and do it because she could take it across the finish line.
I'm telling you, she has skills, like on top of skills, on top of skills. But really, I know that you and I are fans of her. I've known her much less time than you have. But what we love most, Chris, am I right, is about this spirit and this mojo that I wish we could just bottle up. I love you're celebrating 45 years.
Saanvi has also told me that she's planning on going to Emory this fall, which is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
Majoring in neuroscience,
Mhm.
which is just right up her alley. But
Yeah.
I will tell you this: if Saanvi ever wants a different career path, I know that there is a place for her in the environmental field, whether that be working for a government organization or a for-profit organization or not-for-profit. I like to say the world is Saanvi's oyster because it truly is. Given her knowledge, her experience, and her passion, Saanvi is a person who's going places.
Chris, you said earlier that you feel blessed is the word you used in all your 45 years. Finish that sentence for me, that you feel blessed meeting her.
Yeah, I think it was fate that we met. I have been a ranger slash manager in the Park Service for 45 years. And in all my 45 years, I'm blessed that, in this year, Saanvi came along and just to inspire me, as an older employee of the National Park Service, Saanvi is the future. And
Wow.
Saanvi was an inspiration for me to see that what the future looks like. And I know that the National Park Service and all the other conservation organizations out there are in good hands if people like Saanvi are coming up to take our place, so to speak, and carry on what we've worked our entire life to do. So I do feel very blessed.
Amen. Saanvi, what do you have to say to that, Miss Humility?
Oh, well, I'm just absolutely thankful for Chris and all of his guidance. And I just hope to keep working with him and keep working with others who also have the same passions as me, and just trying to get as many kids outdoors in different ways, in all the different ways that we can. I think the good part about working with so many different people in the outdoor sector is that we're all working towards the same goal, but using different ways to achieve them. And each way that we use to achieve it is very helpful to the cause, whether it's creating videos to inspire people to spend time outdoors, or working on legislation to break past some of those barriers, or even hosting kids to park stays, or getting kids to actual state parks and forest preserves. All these different ways to getting kids outdoors and getting people outdoors is still so helpful to the end goal, which is just making sure that as many people as possible get to experience the Earth's natural wonders.
And have you seen that firsthand as we begin to wrap this up? Have you seen that firsthand when you're able to bring kids out into nature who might not ordinarily have had that opportunity? Have you seen how that has lasting effects?
Yes, absolutely. I think one of my favorite stories to share is one of the kids that around 2 years ago that I began taking to to a state park and to the forest preserves, who I began taking with Project Nature Worthy, and she used to come on a lot of her hikes. She actually started a recycling program at her school. So that made me so happy, obviously, just to see that spending time outdoors is making a difference in her life. And she started like a club in her grade. And another child that I worked with as well, he started a food waste kind of initiative at in his cafeteria at school. So that's also another example of just how spending time outdoors can help change your mindset a little bit and just make you a little bit more thoughtful about your impact on the earth and getting more people outdoors as well.
Chris, it occurs to me as I hear her speak, this is legacy, isn't it? It's legacy. Beyond just her own move, exponentially how she is encouraging others. Would you say legacy? This is what we all strive for. She's 18, for Pete's sake.
As you wrap up, Dawn, I just wanted to say that thank you, Saanvi and Dawn, for giving me the opportunity to appear today on your podcast. It's truly been my honor to be here to support Saanvi, and I really look forward over the next years as she goes off to college to see the many places that she will go that will lead to a better planet. So thank you.
1,000 thank yous to you for the time. Let's close on this. Saanvi, is there anything else you want to add? Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say I want to encourage anyone who's listening to this to just spend a few minutes outdoors every day. I know I've been talking a lot about state parks and national parks, but one thing that we do talk about a lot at Project Nature Worthy through our webinars as well is that in order to spend time outdoors and to connect with the outdoors, doesn't mean you have to drive to a hike or you have to drive to a state park or fly to a national park. Even spending 2 to 3 minutes outdoors every day without your phone and just breathing in fresh air, feeling sunlight, and just focusing on the elements around you, the sounds around you, and really being in the moment with being in that moment and not getting distracted by, your technology or other people, and just focusing on the outdoors and yourself and just thinking about your life, doing some introspection and spending that time just 2 to 3 minutes every day can make a huge difference. And that's just what I wanted to encourage everyone to do. Even if you can't make it out to a state park or a national park, just going outside for a few minutes every day can make a huge difference.
And can you tell people where they can find you if they want to follow you?
Yeah, so I have my hiking Instagram and my Nature Worthy Instagram, as I like to call it. It's called Chalk Bags and Tents. It's chalk bags and then there's an N and then tents. So
chalk, like CHALK, chalk bags?
Yeah, chalk bags and tents. I decided to name it because I really like rock climbing, and you use chalk bags in rock climbing, and I like hiking. That's like tents. Mm-hmm. So chalk bags and tents, that's where you can find my latest hiking adventures or any activities we're doing with Project Nature Worthy will probably be posted there, any hikes. So if you're ever in the Dallas area and there's a hike posted, you should definitely come.
Well, I can't, and Chris as well, I know I speak for you. I cannot wait to see the places you're going to go. And it's classic, the good stuff. I want to thank you, my friend. I want to thank you for seeing the good, the opportunities that you can be the good for others, see the good in them and be the good for them. It's classic. It's classic. And I love you. And thank you so much for reaching out. God bless you both.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And it's been great to just spread the message to encourage more people to spend time outdoors.
My pleasure. Chris and I are going to say we knew her when, and she was a dynamo then.
Absolutely.
All right. God bless you. Thanks again for your time.
Sometimes it's good to just dance.
You've been listening to Dawn Kendrick's The Good Stuff Family Podcast. If you found inspiration here, would you click subscribe, follow, share as we grow our Good Stuff family tree? Check out thegoodstufffamily.com for links to all our social media platforms and for how you or your business could sponsor a story. The Good Stuff Family, reaching and touching hearts around the world by weaving families together one story at a time. On your mark, get set, let's go.
Well, I got a suggestion. Sometimes it's good, so come along.